Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Azza, wishing all our viewers around the globe a very happy Independence Day. I am an entrepreneur and a philanthropist based out of Singapore, and I have been part of multiple initiatives to promote Pakistani art, culture, and heritage. I am leading Shahid Afridi Foundation for Singapore, and I'm an advocate of empowerment through vision and struggle. And I do transformational coaching for professionals to take a deep dive into their values, circumstances, and perceptions to build their opportunities and goals in life. I feel proud to be part of this initiative that we've recently started in Southeast Asia to bridge the professionals in this region to the youth back home and guide them how to progress and face the challenges. So without further ado, let's start with the videos of the organizers so you can get introduction to the brains behind this event.
Hello and good evening. This is Humayun Habib here. I'm based in Kuala Lumpur and I'm an overseas Pakistani. I work for Cargill and I'm associated with a couple of Pakistan-related initiatives. I'm part of the executive committee of Malaysia Pakistan Business Council based in Kuala Lumpur. And then I'm also the founding member for CA Southeast Asia Coordination Committee formed under ICAP back in 2020. So the purpose of today's event is that we have taken this initiative to engage Pakistani professional community in this region and to create a platform. So this is a start and we continue to build on this initiative. I would like to thank my co-organizer Imran, Azza, and Kashif's entire team who provided us fantastic support to make this event happen. A big thank you to High Commissioners and Ambassadors in this region from Pakistan who are supporting us and who are going to share their thoughts today. And thank you for your time. And our keynote speaker, Kashif, Ubaid, the musician Salman Ahmad, who will be sharing some of his experiences and thoughts with us today. We are so humbled and honored with all these, great audience. The panelists who are joining us here. And then we have some very good stories to tell, very good potential from tourism side. So that from Walnut Travels, she's going to share with us the tourism scene in Pakistan. And we have Wajahat, aspiring young entrepreneur in this region, a great inspiring story. And then we have CFO Club, Dr. Rizwan and Shehzad, who have taken great initiative to create this networking platform. So all of them will be sharing some great stuff. So stay tuned, enjoy the evening, have a lovely time enjoying this event with your family and friends. And Pakistan Zindabad, thank you so much for your time and joining us today. Thank you. Bye.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Imran Yahya. I'm Managing Director of SoSpot in Malaysia. Also, I'm a part of organizing committee of upcoming Independence Day celebration event, which is arranged by our Southeast Asian Pakistani professionals. And we are honored to have Salman Ahmad of Junoon with us in this event, as well as many other VIP guests. We have lined up several programs for this event. So I look forward to see you all on 14th August, 8 p.m. Malaysia time, 5 p.m. Pakistan time. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kashif Ansari. I'm co-founder and group CEO of Juai IQI Group. Juai IQI is one of the largest prop tech group of Southeast Asia. In a short time, we have grown more than 20 countries. What we have done with the help of technology, we smooth the way property transaction happen. We make the life of consumer and so many people easy to transact their property through the platform. And I like to tell you all that we are so excited that we are coming to Pakistan with some new venture because Pakistan has so much talent and technology can change so many things. We are excited, we are looking forward, and we'd like to welcome you all to attend this webinar where we're able to share, and there's so many of us come and share with you opportunity and excitement in Pakistan. Thank you very much. Looking forward. Bye-bye.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good day, respected members of Pakistan community. I am Dato Sri Muhammad Nazir Mir Aslam, Chairman of Malaysian Pakistani Business Council in Kuala Lumpur. On behalf of my fellow Executive Committee and Business Council members in Malaysia, I would like to wish all of you a very happy Independent Day of Pakistan. We work very closely with our Pakistani and Malaysian friends and Pakistani High Commission in Malaysia. Our purpose is to enhance bilateral trade and investment opportunities between Malaysia and Pakistan. Once again, we Malaysians wish all of Pakistani the very best of future and happy Independent Day. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Azza and I'm an overseas Pakistani based out of Singapore. I have been in Southeast Asia for the last 16 years and have been part of multiple projects to promote Pakistani art, culture and heritage in this region. I believe that to change the perspectives of the world towards Pakistan, we need to showcase our art, culture and heritage. I am an advocate of a bright future of Pakistan because I believe in our youth. I believe that our youth have the strength to face bigger challenges and compete with the world out there.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Shahzad Dedi, founder of CFO Club Pakistan in UK, CFO with AWT Investments, as well as a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan. Tomorrow we are celebrating Pakistan's 75th Independence Day, and we have arranged an amazing webinar for you. And we are joined by overseas Pakistan community in Southeast Asia. Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines से हाई कमिश्नर जो वहाँ पे बेस्ड हैं, पाकिस्तानी हाई कमिश्नर वो हमें ज्वाइन करेंगे. साथ ही साथ हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर सलमान अहमद. सो हमने ये इवेंट प्लान किया है बड़ा केयरफुली और भी उसमें कुछ चीज़ें हैं. प्लीज़ हमें ज़रूर ज्वाइन कीजिए टुमारो एट 5 PM पाकिस्तान टाइम, 8 PM Malaysia and Singapore time. Pakistan Zindabad.
Hi, this is Sadat Khalid Khan and I am the CEO of Walnut Travel Tours and Consultancy based in Islamabad. Also, I am the Global Ambassador for Tourism for Commonwealth Entrepreneur Club in UK, and as well as I am the CEO of a summer resort called the Walnut Heights in Kanam, Pakistan. Recently, WTTC have signed an MOU. We are a proud partner of Malaysia Pakistan Business Council, and I thank Mr. Hamayo and the High Commission of Malaysia for the coordination for the upcoming webinar for the 14th August. We look forward for Pakistan, Malaysia and the ASEAN region relationship between Pakistan and the ASEAN region for tourism, trade, investment opportunities. So looking forward to meeting you all and having a fruitful discussion in this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for watching that. We are very grateful to our High Commissions, our foreign missions in Southeast Asia, who have been very supportive to endorse this initiative and become part of this initiative. So over to our foreign missions, we would be playing the recording of our Excellency, the Ambassador for Philippines, Mr. Imtiaz Kazi, and from there, the floor will be given live to rest of the High Commissions and ambassadors who are part of this event.
पचहत्तरवीं सालगिरह पे तमाम अहले पाकिस्तान को, दियार गैर में बसने वाले तमाम पाकिस्तानी भाइयों को और खुसूसी तौर पे फिलीपीन में बसने वाले पाकिस्तानियों को दिली मुबारकबाद.
Now, I would like to invite Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Pakistan to Malaysia, Madam Amna Baloch, to give her opening remarks. Ma'am, we can't hear you. Sorry, your mic is mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right, okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and Yom Azadi Mubarak. Honorable ambassadors, excellencies, colleagues, respected members of Pakistan expat community professionals, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I would like to express my appreciation for all who have been instrumental in bringing us together. I'm extremely happy to see my honorable colleagues representing Pakistan across Southeast Asia here on this platform today. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to address such an eclectic group of expatriate Pakistani nationals. Ladies and gentlemen, though much cliched, yet a reality, COVID-19 has given us a significant setback in our interactions and outreach. Despite the challenge, the High Commission of Pakistan Malaysia has strived to remain engaged, not only with the host government, but also with the Pakistani diaspora at all levels. Today's event is a testimony of one such instance. The past year and a half was primarily dominated by activities pertaining to repatriation, welfare, and various challenges resulting from continuous lockdown in Malaysia. I would like to utilize this platform to express my gratitude to the honorable members of our expat community, especially in Malaysia, who came forward and extended immense support to address the woes of those who lost their jobs, required tickets to return to Pakistan, or needed sustenance during this difficult time. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are meeting today at a time when the world is experiencing an unprecedented transformation. Countries of Asia and Pacific region are moving ever closer to the center stage of global politics. While mounting challenges such as climate change, COVID-19 inequality, and non-traditional threats are a sad reality. The evolving scenario has also brought Pakistan at the center stage once again, as we face new security threats from looming civil war in Afghanistan, shifting global and regional power play as well. The domestic challenges are also immense that need attention as well as resources for mitigation. It would not be incorrect to say that Pakistan is at a crossroad and perhaps at a watershed moment. Today, as we commemorate the 75th Diamond Jubilee of the creation of Pakistan, it is time to take a pause and reflect. I'm a firm believer in the age-old adage, behind every challenge there is an opportunity. Therefore, let us focus on the opportunities. Let us all make a resolve today that Pakistan can do much better and should do much better. We can take complete advantage of our country's location, build dynamism in our economy, and unleash the power of our youth and women. With determination, we can turn the challenges into opportunities. I would conclude with the saying of Father of the Nation, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and I quote, "With faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worth that you cannot achieve." Unquote. I thank you all. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so much, Madam, for your time and a great message. Now I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Hassan Balti, our Ambassador of Pakistan to Indonesia, to please share his message with our online global viewers. Sir, over to you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Am I audible?
Yes.
Let me at the outset thank the organizers for arranging this webinar and inviting me to speak. I would name Humayun Habib Saab, Azza, Imran, Kashif, Shehzad, and all those whose name I was unable to write down. Well, I'll restrict myself to the 4 minutes which was allotted to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I was really thrilled when I learned that a group of Pakistani professionals and entrepreneurs in South Asia are arranging a virtual event to lay the foundation of a networking of platforms for Pakistani professionals and entrepreneurs, of course, in the region. To be honest, it was a dream come true. How, I'll explain later. But before that, let me congratulate all the participants and Pakistanis in Southeast Asian region. Happy Independence Day. we all were busy for a whole day in celebrating this important day. This morning, we hosted Pakistan's flag at our embassy in Jakarta, which was attended by a large number of Pakistanis despite COVID-19 restrictions. I also sent my recorded speech to a grand reception being held in Delhi, the capital of Timor-Leste, this evening. This event is being organized and hosted by the Association of Pakistanis in Timor-Leste. In my message to the event, which I've sent it in the recorded form, I thank the Pakistani community in Delhi for playing this valuable role in developing close relations between Timor-Leste and Pakistan and introducing Pakistan's rich cultural heritage to the Timor-Lestean people. Why I'm mentioning the Association of Pakistani Community in Timor-Leste here is that because probably they have set an example for us and for the Pakistani diaspora in other 10 countries of the region. In Delhi, there are only 40 to 50 Pakistani families, but they have an association. They take care of themselves collectively. They liaise with us, with the embassy, which is based in Jakarta, and they also project Pakistan's culture in Timor-Leste. And they celebrate Pakistan Day reception every year, which is attended by a large number of people, including the diplomatic corps, the Timor-Leste government, officials and others. You will be happy to know that this year, the Interior Minister of Timor-Leste is the chief guest on this event, which is being had at this moment in Delhi. The point I want to make here is that if a small number of people in Delhi, Timor-Leste, can operate from a platform and do wonders, why can't we? Well, I want the Pakistani diaspora in other 10 ASEAN countries to follow the best practice of our brothers and sisters in Timor-Leste and unite themselves. This would be only possible if we have platforms such as the Association of Pakistanis in Timor-Leste. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 9 million overseas Pakistanis whom the Prime Minister Imran Khan has declared as the biggest asset of Pakistan. Not only because these expatriate communities, they tremendously contribute to the economic development of Pakistan through remittances and investments, but they also have been playing their role in projecting this soft and true image of Pakistan, as well as exporting our rich and diverse culture to other countries of the world. You, the Pakistani professionals in Southeast Asia, are an important part of this community. I know that you have been contributing to the country's development in your own ways, and some of them doing marvels, but many people are unaware of the contribution of the diaspora here in Southeast Asia because it is not visible. Since there is no organized platform, so these contributions are little known in the country, and these are seldom recognized. I've served in many countries, and I've seen that in almost in all those countries, there is at least one effective Pakistani diaspora platform from where they would raise their collective and individual voices to further their own interest as well as the interest of the country. I'm not going to other part of the world. In our own backyard in Australia, there are 2 associations of Pakistanis, and they are very effective. I cannot speak for other countries, but in Jakarta, unfortunately, in Indonesia, there is none. Nevertheless, it's not too late, as there is a saying in Pakistan, देर आए दुरुस्त आए, या ये कि इकबाल देर से ही आता है. So, since the first step has been taken today, I would like to suggest you all to formalize it as early as possible and get going. Well, I would like to give a few suggestions in this regard. Rest you all are in the field and you know better than me. First of all, you have to see that what the objectives we are going to obtain from this platform. Well, to me, there are 2 or 3 types of objectives. Normally, these associations carry. The first thing is to help, if you do it, to help yourself, to help connect, network, collaborate, and in sometimes mentor each other, support each other, the entrepreneurs and the professionals within this region. Secondly, you can create bridge between entrepreneurs in this region and entrepreneurs and professionals in Pakistan. That is also an important issue. Thirdly, you can contribute to development of our Pakistan by mobilizing investment, trade, tourism, industry, etc., where we, the embassies, also come in, and we will be glad to help you in this regard. Of course, there will be challenges once you start with this initiative. For example, it will be a difficult task for mapping the diaspora, the numbers, their locations, their profiles. In this regard, the embassies can help you in doing that, because we are almost in 9 out of the 10 ASEAN countries. There will be some divisions in the diaspora. There will be rivalries, political, ethnic, skill-wise, so many. In some of the countries I've seen that even in Pakistan, if there is one political party, say People's Party or Muslim League, in those countries there are 3 or 4 factions of each political party. So you may find it here as well. But there is always, when there is a challenge, there is also an opportunity. Similarly, you may have some resource constraints. You need some dedicated people to work on that, financial resources. But these things are secondary. If you have the will, then there is always a way. At the last, I would like to mention you about the format, that how this association or this platform should look like. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have been to different places, and I have seen it in different places, and there are so many ways of doing it, and each model is doing wonders. I'll mention about 2 or 3. The first model, which I think you may like to emulate, is the model of you might all have heard about APNA, the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent of North America. It's a well-organized organization of Pakistanis. It started off somewhere, I think, in 1975 or 76. At the moment, they have about 17 to 18,000 members. And it's a purely Pakistani Doctors and Health Workers Association. And what they do is that they have chapters in North America in each city, and they organize their functions, annual convention. The annual convention is also a family fun. The convention is attended by top congressmen and business leaders. This year, if I'm not wrong, the Prime Minister Imran Khan sent his recorded message, and the State Bank Governor attended the convention. So, once they are united, how effective these people can be. You can do like that. But, since you are in different countries, and so probably this may not be proper for you to have a association, one convention for 10 countries. So the second option I would like to suggest you is to copy the model of Organization of Pakistani Entrepreneurs in North America, known as OPEN. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. It's a global network of Pakistani entrepreneurs and professionals. Well, they started off first in America, in Boston, and then into other cities, and then went to Canada, then to London, and now to Pakistan. So this is an association which is working in multi-countries. And now it has 13 chapters, starting from Silicon Valley to New York to London to Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi. I believe that this will be more appropriate for the Association of the South Asian Pakistani Entrepreneurs. Well, the third option which comes into my mind is the one which I think I had myself had an opportunity to work with, is Pakistan Business and Pakistan Business Professional Council in Abu Dhabi. This is a unique council in which the Pakistani entrepreneurs, Pakistani professionals, and Embassy of Pakistan work together. The Ambassador of Pakistan acts as the chairman, but it is run by a board and by an elected president, and it is coordinated by the embassy as well. And they also have, I think it's Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak, who has a a lot of investment in Pakistan as an honorary member. So this is one way of you doing it. I personally would like to have a council which an association which looks like this one for South Asia, because we want many of the investors and entrepreneurs from here to go to Pakistan and establish joint ventures with them. Well, then there are, within our own region, we have the ASEAN Entrepreneur Forum, ASEAN Young Entrepreneur Forum, and many other things to follow. So these were just my few of my thoughts. As far as we are concerned, the embassy of Pakistan here in Jakarta and in other stations, we would be glad to help you in overcoming your difficulties, and we will help you in grow and partner you in the realization of your objectives. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and let's stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your amazing message, because the best thing is that you've told us to stay organized and institutionalize this whole thing. So definitely we'll note down the pointers and we'll consult you later for them. Now I would like to give the platform to Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Pakistan to Singapore, Madam Rukhsana Afzal, to share her views on this initiative. Over to you, ma'am.
Dear members of Pakistani diaspora in Southeast Asia, respectable colleagues in ASEAN capitals, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me this opportunity to address you on a day that is so special for all of us, the day when Allah Salawatuhu Ta'ala blessed us with Pakistan, a homeland of our own. Away from home, we are all like a big family and share the same passion to see our country progressing and reaching the pinnacle of growth, economic prosperity, and political stability. Singapore is a living example that there is nothing you can't achieve through a clear vision, consistent hard work, and dedication. Our highly skilled and professional diaspora in Singapore is a source of great strength and tremendous pride for all of us. They have always stood by our side whenever the country needed their support. As we move forward to achieve Prime Minister Imran Khan's vision of a modern, progressive, and prosperous Pakistan called Kamyab Pakistan through a people-centric approach, there have emerged numerous opportunities for overseas Pakistanis to become part of this journey. E-commerce is the new engine of growth led by young Pakistani entrepreneurs and startups who brought $120 million into the ecosystem in the first half of 2021 alone. Bazaar, Retailo, Tajir, Salesflow, and Dastagir are leading the way, followed by fintechs like Finja, Cheetah, SadaPay, Tag, Seed Labs, and K-Trade. Some major global companies are investing millions of dollars in Pakistani startups. There is so much that our IT-savvy professional diaspora sitting across the world can contribute to the country. I would urge all of you to become leaders of change and mobilize investment in Pakistan's future, in Pakistani startups, in fintechs, in future technologies, to take Pakistan forward and get it a place in the world that it truly deserves. Let's together make Pakistan a country we can all be proud of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. You are an inspiration because you have a vision for our digital innovative Pakistan. And I think we are all inspired by that vision and we are following that. Thank you so much for your message. Now I would like to give the floor to Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Pakistan to Vietnam, Madam Samina Mehtab. Ma'am, please share your views.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. My fellow High Commissioners and Ambassadors, dear organizers of the event, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. At the outset, let me convey my gratitude for this opportunity to express my views to this august audience at the propitious occasion of 14th August. Today, we as a nation are celebrating the 75th Independence Day and addressing this gathering of illustrious overseas Pakistani professionals fills me with utmost pride. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that Pakistanis, wherever they may reside, are one of the most talented, hardworking, and dedicated professionals. Pakistani community in Vietnam and Laos, as well as other Southeast Asian countries, not only plays an active role in Southeast Asia's economy, but is also playing a pivotal role in uplifting the economy back home. As you are aware, ASEAN is a diverse and fascinating region which represents almost 3.5% of the global GDP. From Singapore's highly developed society to Vietnam's rapidly emerging middle class to one of the most open economy of Malaysia, it possesses all attributes of a future economic giant. The economic experts believe that the region will become the equivalent of the world's fourth largest economy by 2030. In such circumstances, today's gathering seems to be more apt than ever. I appreciate the initiative that has been taken by the Pakistani community today. It is also heartening to note that today's event is being organized virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, information technology is the future of this world. Especially with spread of COVID-19 pandemic, IT platforms now shape and design all social interactions. While realizing the enormous potential of Pakistan's human capital in the field of IT, Embassy of Pakistan in Vietnam has placed a special focus on IT sector. I am pleased to share that last month I had a very detailed meeting with Vietnam's Vice Minister for Information and Communications and the Vice Chairperson of Software and IT Services Association of Vietnam to chart out a future roadmap for bilateral cooperation. We are trying to enhance services export, attract FDI, and start the export of IT professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, being the custodian of the welfare of the Pakistani community in Vietnam and Laos, I would be very much interested in exploring and exploiting economic opportunities that Vietnam and Laos offer to the people of Pakistan. In this purview, I assure you of my complete support and cooperation. In line with the vision of incumbent government, economic diplomacy is already my top priority. It is my honor to share that Pakistan's export to Vietnam increased by over 13% for 2022-21 year-on-year basis, while in the month of July 2021 alone, exports have gone up by 391% month-on-month basis. In July 2020, the figure was 7 million, and July 2021, the figure is $38 million, which is very promising. We at the Embassy of Pakistan, Hanoi, will continue our efforts to maintain this upward trajectory in exports of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by reiterating my confidence in the abilities of the people of Pakistan. I say it with my fullest conviction that equipped with right resources, the overseas Pakistanis in Southeast Asia, especially Vietnam and Laos PDR, can make tremendous contributions towards the economy of Pakistan. I hope and pray that may this initiative culminate into a proactive organization that will not only enhance Pakistan's economic outlook, but also improve its image in Southeast Asia. A very happy Independence Day to you, to all of you. Long live Pakistan. Thank you very much for this patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam. Now I would like to invite our Honorable Acting Ambassador to Thailand, Mr. Yasir Iqbal. Please, sir, share your remarks.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, Pakistan's ambassadors and high commissioners in Southeast Asia, distinguished participants, organizers of the event, and all those joining us virtually. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening from Bangkok. आप सबको पाकिस्तान का 75वां यौम आज़ादी बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो. Worthy colleagues before me have made very pertinent points, so I'll try to be brief in my remarks. But surely I would like to commend and congratulate the conceivers and organizers of this laudable initiative for taking a much needed step in the very right direction. As President of Pakistan said in his today's message, that we are a brilliant and brave nation. We are also one of the youngest countries in the world, with 64% of Pakistani population under 30 years of age. There's need for harnessing this dynamic demographic asset by arming them with appropriate skill sets to compete in today's competitive world. Prime Minister Imran Khan has a vision of transforming Pakistan into a knowledge-based economy to spur economic growth through innovation and entrepreneurship. He strongly believes in the abilities and potential of Pakistani youth. Therefore, he has been encouraging the youth to pursue independent ideas fearlessly. In the wake of COVID-19, fast-paced introduction of information and communication technologies have opened new and uncharted avenues for our youth to pursue. Pakistani professionals and entrepreneurs have been formidably strong and prominent. There are numerous success stories to aspire to, some of which we will listen to shortly. However, unfortunately, forging teams and networks has always been our blind spot. That's the reason when I was contacted for participation in this event, I immediately signed on without hesitation. I believe socioeconomic development does not happen in silos. Professional networks are indeed a great medium for contributing as well as drawing wisdom, knowledge, and best practices, which is the key for personal and professional growth. Solo flights can take us to certain heights. To soar higher, we need to build bonds, develop synergies, and forge connections. And connections not only within geographical confines of a particular area or a country, but across the regions. Talented and young professionals and entrepreneurs are our assets, and I dare say, the true ambassadors of Pakistan. An overwhelming presence of the Pakistani ambassadors and high commissioners in this event is itself a manifestation of our belief in the cause of connecting and promoting our Pakistani expatriates, professionals, and entrepreneurs. Ambassador Hassan has given you a good food for thought and models to emulate, of course, with some modifications to cater to the particular needs of this region. Let me end by saying that you have taken the first step. Now it is our turn, and we are ready and available to play our part in materializing an integrated network of Pakistani professionals and entrepreneurs in Southeast Asia. Thank you very much for listening to me. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so much, sir, for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to play National Anthem of Pakistan by our all-time favorite band, Junoon. So let's all stand up in the honor of the National Anthem. So we have tried to create some excitement for you. So with this, we would like to surprise you by having a very special guest today for this event. We have with us an icon, an idol of the youth for 3 decades in Pakistan, Dr. Salman Ahmad. Doctor, for sure, a musician, married to a doctor, father of 3 sons, resident of New York, so an overseas Pakistani. So currently working as a Skoll Foundation's Communication Advocacy Ambassador for South Asia. Salman earlier served as a UN Global Ambassador for HIV and AIDS and COVID-19. As a goodwill ambassador for Rotary International, Salman also contributed to eradication of polio in Pakistan. In 2008, Salman and his wife Samina, who's also a doctor, launched the Salman and Samina Global Wellness Initiative with a concert at the UNGA. It's a non-profit organization whose primary focus is fostering harmony internationally by promoting wellness and music. So, Salman, welcome to our event, and thank you so much for being there.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shukriya, Azza. Azadi Mubarak to you and everybody, all the excellencies who just spoke, and all the people who are tuned in today. Azadi Mubarak, Pakistan Mubarak.
Thank you so much. So, Salman, you are an inspiration for our youth. So I'm going to start from there, and we are going to jump into a few questions that I have prepared for you. So you advocate for dialogue around culture, music, art, and heritage. And I am, because I'm a big supporter and ambassador of Pakistani art and culture myself. So I would like to know your vision as to how do you see these platforms to work for our youth and for Pakistan's image building to the global world.
Thank you, Azza. Well, the first thing I would like to say to the youth of Pakistan, the diaspora, and the wider community, that Allama Iqbal said this wonderful, powerful quote: "Dil se jo baat nikalti hai, asar rakhti hai, par nahi taaqat-e parwaaz magar rakhti hai." Translated into English, that whisper in your heart has strength. It may not have wings, but it has the power to fly. Now, how is that important to the question you asked? Well, when I was in college, I grew up here in America, but I went to study medicine in Lahore at King Edward Medical College. I was confused at what potential I had in my life. And while I was studying medicine, I had a friend in engineering university, Shaheed Junaid Jamshed. And we asked each other at the age of 21 कि हम पाकिस्तान के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि for the youth of Pakistan, our generation, there was very little to do because there was the Afghanistan war was happening, with the Soviets there. There was a lot of extremism, amongst the youth, and drug addiction and violence. So we asked ourselves that what can we do? Now, at that time, Azza, we didn't have Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or Instagram. So you had to really converse face to face. There was no Facebook either. So there were telephones, but you had to get together with people and talk. So I got together with Junaid and other friends, who were like-minded, a small minority of people. And our basic message was, look, we love Pakistan, but how can we express it in a way which shows that, modernity and tradition both go together? So out of that jamming came Dil Dil Pakistan. ऐसी ज़मीन और आसमां इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ, बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी, चलता रहे ये कारवां, Dil Dil Pakistan. Now, it was just an innocent, enthusiastic, creative spark. But we were basically novices because we didn't belong to any gharana. We didn't belong to any poetic family or, nothing connected to TV or film or music. but we had a love for creativity and arts and culture. So many years later, 2021, I realized that when you do something from the heart, as Allama Iqbal said, it has that whisper has the power to fly, because Dil Dil Pakistan was a way to reach not to just our generation, but to every successful generation after that. So my message to the youth of Pakistan is, ask yourself in your heart, what is it that you want to do the most? You know, you have to study, you have to, find a job, all of that you have to do. But at the same time, you must have some unique gift. So ask your heart, what is that unique gift? And then try to do it. It doesn't make a difference if you're not experienced, or you're, don't have connections, or if you're, if you don't have money either, resources. Try to follow your heart and then see what happens. Because if your goal is bigger than yourself, if your goal is bigger than yourself, then doors will start opening, and they keep on opening.
Thank you. I mean, that's an amazing message for our youth. And that takes me to my next question, because you also have a very strong spiritual element to your personality as well. So my question to you is, जुनून से और इश्क से मिलती है आज़ादी. जुनून क्या है? इश्क क्या है? आज़ादी क्या है? And for youth, what is a bigger message in that, from the perspective of opportunities, goals, and how they see their life for future?
That's a very good question, Azza. And as you know, living abroad, being a part of the, close to 10 million, 9 to 10 million people who belong to Pakistan but live as overseas Pakistanis. I too, when I was growing up here in New York, going to school, junior high school, I used to wonder, be more passionately curious about Pakistan. So I studied, history. I studied, that the freedom struggle of Pakistan, and what Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Allama Iqbal represented. I had a great, interest in that. And also when I came to Pakistan and I started Junoon, I wanted Junoon to be a vehicle. You see, the problem was at that time, a lot of the artists who were globally known, right? They either belonged to the West or, neighboring countries. And our youth also, looked at that as being a higher form of entertainment, that whatever comes from abroad, which is international, is of higher standard. And so Pakistan was always, in the eyes of the media, Pakistani media as well, always kept at a lower level. And the international artists and the international newsmakers would be at a higher level. So we thought we are as good as anybody else, right? And so ये आपने जो बात की ना, जुनून से और इश्क से मिलती है आज़ादी, कुर्बानी की बाहों में मिलती है आज़ादी. There was a film being made on Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah by Professor Dr. Akbar Ahmed and Jamil Dehelvi. Christopher Lee played the lead part of that. And they asked me, that would I like to compose the theme song to the film, to the film soundtrack. And, I thought, what is that one core message or lesson that we could learn from Quaid-e-Azam's life? And it was Qurbani. Basically, if you watch the film, which I'd urge you to watch, and if you read his biography, Jinnah of Pakistan by Professor Stanley Wolpert, the thing that Quaid-e-Azam had more than anybody else, I would be the ability to give everything of himself. He gave his life, he gave his resources, he gave his family. Basically, he focused everything for the freedom that we are enjoying today, December 14th, 2021. August 14th, 2021. And Quaid-e-Azam was laser focused, pinpointed focus for Azadi. You know, he saw so many setbacks, so many failures, yet he kept going. He kept going. So the idea of sacrificing yourself, you know, which is in our tradition, sacrifice is the highest honor that anybody can receive. You know, shahadat. If you martyr yourself for a higher cause, for your country and your homeland, for freedom, you know, you are a shaheed. So Qaid Azam's book and his film showed me that way, that, you know, कि जुनून से और इश्क से मिलती है आज़ादी, कुर्बानी की बाहों में मिलती है आज़ादी.
Thank you so much. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much. Without giving any spoilers, you're working on a documentary as well. When I did my research, I found out you're working on something like that. So I will not give any spoilers because I know what it is about, but I would like you to share your vision and a bit about your documentary to the viewers.
Ji, thank you, Azza. Azza, so while we are celebrating Pakistan's 75th independence anniversary, we're also experiencing globally, collectively, the biggest pandemic in 100 years. And, you know, last year in April, I was in New York with my wife and my family, and New York was the epicenter of this virus, COVID-19 virus. And I got sick. I was in quarantine. During quarantine, I had a lot of questions. And those questions were about, you know, who am I? What is my purpose? You know, what is life? Because, you know, when you get ill, that's when these questions, you know, comes to the surface. So when I recovered from it, I made a point to myself that whatever I'm going to do now creatively has to answer some of these questions. And when the first wave of COVID-19 hit Pakistan, you know, I saw how Prime Minister Pakistan's, Mr. Imran Khan's government was handling this crisis, the pandemic. You know, with very few resources, he was able to hit his team and the NCOC and the health officials of Pakistan. They all collectively, the whole country came together to fight this virus. So I thought that, you know, that if you saw how difficult a time period, you know, India has had, you know, Iran has had, other nations have had, America, first world nations like the United States have had. I was curious to ask Prime Minister Imran Khan that what was his thinking during these crises. So I flew to Islamabad last November 12th. I interviewed him at the Prime Minister's house. And when I did the interview, actually, it went beyond Corona, you know, the SARS coronavirus and COVID-19. It became an interview about a leader in the line of fire. What are his challenges? What are his dreams? How can he navigate the past how can he look at the past to navigate the present? And how does he see the future for Pakistan? So spiritual democracy now, when I came back to New York, I started working on that. It's a four-part documentary. The first part is a journey of self-discovery. The second part is nuclear neighbors, the relationship between India and Pakistan. The third part is age of crisis and calamity, which looks at, you know, the pandemic and other crises that Pakistan is facing at the moment, and how Khan Saab looks at it. And then the fourth part is Pakistan, the search for identity. And inshallah, my hope is that we'll release it in 2021.
It's very inspirational, and I think it's going to send out a very positive and a progressive image of Pakistan to the world out there with your the series of documentaries that you're going to make. I also feel that I think a lot of people would like to see that how can they become part of your project, I feel it would be great. And please do share if you feel you can have more people, more brains on this project. I mean, I would suggest that we should have more people would love to build up image of Pakistan through these documentaries. It's a much needed thing at this moment in time.
Well, thank you, Azza. I will just mention that, last year, just before the pandemic hit, Junoon had a sold out concert in Doha, Qatar, which our friend Ubaid and his lovely wife organized with the help of the overseas Pakistani community in Qatar. And since then, Ubaid and you and Humayun, who we spoke with, who are organizing today's excellent session, Ubaid, like me, is someone who loves to do, raise funds for charity, build model villages. Samina and I, through SSGWI, we gave the government of Pakistan masks during the pandemic for the Kachi Abadis, 1 million masks. And Ubaid has, I think, raised funds for PPEs. So the question you ask is, how can the community? I think when we work together, there is more momentum and, unity, faith, discipline, basically. Through unity, faith, discipline, you bring about positive change. You empower everyone.
No doubt about that. And also because there's a bigger vision out there. And I think that's a stronger message that you're giving out to our next generations and the youth of Pakistan, because it's very important for people to understand that the future lies in professionalism. And you became popular with music, but you are a doctor. You have been doing a lot of things around those lines as well. And I am really grateful to have an icon like you on our event today and becoming an ambassador of our event, because it gives out that message that it doesn't matter who you are, your dreams are big, you can be a huge inspiration for the world out there. Thank you so much, Salman, for your time.
Thank you.
Pakistan Zindabad. I would like to show you snippets of his documentary. It would be nice for you to see because it's pretty inspiring and I really liked it. So I think everybody should watch and get inspired. Thank you so much. So that concludes our segment with Salman Ahmad. It was really nice to have him on our event. Now I would like to introduce some professionals that are based out of Southeast Asia, and they have some inspirational stories, some motivational stories of their journey of success, of struggle, and goals that they achieved. Some ideas that can inspire the youth of Pakistan for a better future and inspire them to do bigger and think bigger than life and larger than life. So I would like to introduce our first of our panelists, Mr. Ubaid Rahman, a big name, a star of telco industry, telecoms, blue chip telecoms. Ubaid bhai, I'm not going to give you your introduction. I think you should do it yourself. But you're an inspiration. I've spoken with you a few times and I was inspired every time I spoke with you. So please, over to you.
Thank you, Azza. So can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
So first of all, Assalamu alaikum and Jashne Azadi Mubarak to everyone. It's fascinating. It's a little bit overwhelming as well to see such a lineup, the excellencies, heads of mission, all the viewers out there, obviously the organizers and the good friend Salman. It's always good to hear from him, his inspirational journey that he's going through and all the good work that he's doing. Azza, I think, you want me to basically speak about my journey. I'll basically do it in two sections. One is, how far have I come in the past 25 years? And next is that, what are the things that we can pick up? What are the lessons that we can learn? What can we do together as Pakistani professionals overseas? So first thing first, I have served, as Salman mentioned, chairman for Pakistan Professional Forum Qatar. A lot of learnings from there that I've brought. By the way, I'm new to the region in Southeast Asia, although, I've been working in and around Southeast, but first time here. So in terms of, Pakistan Professional Forum Qatar, we have done a lot of work, not only around, community work, but, bringing all the professionals together, promoting arts, culture, skill set, tourism, a little bit of trade as well. So, it was quite fascinating and inspiring to hear that all the ambassadors and the excellencies are kind of determined to, create something similar in this part of the world as well. It's never too late. Anyways, coming back to my journey, Azza, as you and Humayun had requested, I've been in the industry for about 25 years. Globe-trotted in across 4 continents, covered most of the geographies that you can think of. But, I'm going to talk about my first foundation years. My first 5 years in telecoms were in Pakistan. Proudly started from there. But quite nascent stages at that point in time. Sorry, it was, I think, mid-90s, as Salman mentioned, that there were telephones, but there was no internet. That's the time when I started my journey from. But today we are celebrating 75th Independence Day. I still vividly remember the 50th Independence Day, back in the days. Actually, at that point in time, we had arranged a benefit match between Mobilink 11, that was my employer at that point in time, and South African team at HSN College. And Salman actually played with us, from there. But anyways, starting my journey there had a lot of firsts to be proud of. I was part of the first prepaid service that was launched there in terms of Jazz. I was part of launching the first SMS service in Pakistan, first international roaming, first tracking service there. Quite many firsts there. But after 5 years, I left Pakistan, and then it has been a kind of a whirlwind journey for me. As I said, being in Americas, Europe, obviously Asia as well, and last 10 years being spent, in Qatar. Now, as my foundation, I've done quite many things, as a professional. My key thing is to basically create value, generate value for the stakeholders and shareholders. And I've done it, alhamdulillah, quite well in most of the developed mainstream markets. So, being part of M&A exercises, I've launched GSM on planes through one of the entities that we had in Monaco. I've navigated through quite tumultuous times, in the Middle East, as far as geopolitical situation is concerned. So, it's been a kind of a tumultuous journey. But the thing that I wanted to allude today was that in my journey, apart from, the mainstream markets, the big markets, where, the scale is, maturity is, I take pride in the social impact I've created or I've been a part of in the emerging and developing markets. So, for example, having that first satellite call in Yemen, connecting the Caribbean islands to the US market, enabling connectivity or internet service in Libya during the Arab Spring, connecting the farmers to mobile commerce in Myanmar, providing connectivity or phone services to people in Palestine and Iraq. These social impacts that I've created or have been part of, they kind of, really bring in pride. They bring in a lot of, kind of, I would say, discipline in me as well. Now, these are all kind of, very, I would say, difficult markets to operate in. But then, when I reflect back, those first five foundation years that I had, in Pakistan have really helped me out in terms of, just taking every challenge there. And that's the message, I want to basically give to all the new breed coming out of there. And actually, I see a lot of people coming now, the new generation of telecom engineers, telecom marketers, not only telecom, in terms of the whole digital arena as well. They are on par with the other nations. So Pakistan is a very good foundation ground in terms of, honing your service, your skills, brushing your skills before you come out. And then that's where I started my journey. In the past 20, 25 years, I've seen telecom evolve, transform, change from, just a telecom service to a digital world. It's a totally different world that we're living in. For example, when my daughters, who are relatively young in age, when they ask, what do I actually do? I tell them that, I create internet, through all the connectivity. We make services possible. And coming to that part, as the various dignitaries mentioned, Asia is kind of an epicenter for whatever is happening in digital arena at this point in time. Is the fastest growing market or a region when it comes to digitalization, be it e-commerce fulfillment, be it e-gaming, be it content consumption. For example, recently I was being interviewed by a publication, and I mentioned in there that, if all things being equal, if we had the right internet penetration, if we had all the people, in Asia had smartphones, if you look at the population itself, we would be creating the most content in the world. So, there's a lot of significance, and that's the drive that we're basically going towards. In terms of the relevance of Asia and Pakistan, has a very strategic importance. We talk about the economic corridor between our northern neighbor connecting to Indian Ocean. I don't see it as just an economic corridor. It's a digital corridor. All the infrastructure that's going to be built up over there digitally, that's going to disseminate a lot of digital applications into Pakistan, and it's going to assimilate a lot of things out of there as well. So there's an opportunity with that whole corridor that's been created digitally. Second part of digital is our Western neighbors. They've been in a conflict for about 2 decades. If I may use the word, their infrastructure is crippled. So there's an opportunity for Pakistan to become a kind of a regional hub to provide, not only the infrastructure, but the digital services, not within the country, within the periphery as well. A lot of good work has already happened in Pakistan. We have foreign direct investments coming in telco sector, needless to say. They are there for, long-term commitments. Recently, we are seeing some subsea cable investments coming in as well. Hyperscalers like Facebook are committed to a market as well in Pakistan. They are laying out local fiber infrastructure. That speaks volume. It shows that that 220 million population that's sitting in there, that's a kind of, if I may again use the word, gold mine, for these outside investors. Actually, the employer that I work with right now, Axiata Group, has heavily invested into infrastructure in Pakistan as well. If you look at incubation and startup ecosystem in Pakistan, it has come a long way in the last decade or so. It has started showing us youth yield as well. It's providing skills to the youth as well. And we have some digital success stories being built up. For example, if you look at Daraz.pk, which got sold to Alibaba, that's a success story. Then we have Kareem, which got sold to Uber. Although it was not homegrown in Pakistan, it was done elsewhere. But we had a compatriot over there, which we are proud of, and we should be proud of. So what I'm trying to say is that in terms of infrastructure, in terms of skill set, in terms of us making sure that we are known in the regional, international arena as a digital player, and be part of that ecosystem, we've already set those foundations in place at this point in time. Now we need to basically take to the next level. And that's where, I would like to allude to what Pakistani professionals like us overseas can do. I could not basically agree more with, our Indonesian ambassador in terms of, what he said about, creating this whole ecosystem, creating, this kind of a forum, a platform for the diaspora to help. But what do we give back to our country? From that perspective. So, from my perspective, I basically divided into two areas. One is, the institutional responsibility that we have. We have our connections, we have our network, we are in right jobs. We can basically bring in that foreign direct investments further, from VCs connecting the private equity firms with these startups back home. Second is, on the incubation side, there's a lot of things that are being homegrown in Pakistan. We can cross-pollinate into this part of the world. Certain things, niche products that are being created, we can basically, be a kind of a bridge to put people together, put entrepreneurs together, put, even investors together through the incubation ecosystem that has been developed thus far. One inspiration that I gained recently was the Mango Festival. I'm quite fond of that whole initiative. But under Emerging Pakistan, I think we can do digital festivals as well, where we can basically showcase what we have developed in Pakistan to the outside world. I know that a lot of work has been done thus far on that as well, but probably we can do a little bit more. Last but not the least, so there's the institutional part where we have to basically play a role as overseas Pakistanis, but then there's a personal part as well. And the personal part comes in terms of mentoring new entrepreneurs, this new generation in Pakistan. And I personally do that. At this point in time, I'm basically mentoring two mentees at this point in time. And the reason is that, we have more knowledge, more exposure around, inclusion, diversity, the gender gap. Those are the things that we can bring in, regardless of all the other knowledge that we bring onto the table as well. So that's what I do. For example, in the corporate world, I never say no to any idea of a startup or otherwise based on a slide deck. I always make sure that, I drill through, I give airtime to the person or to, a group of people just to understand, what their idea is. You never know, when the right idea might come, and that's how, most of these startups and new ideas come out from. So from a, a Pakistani professional perspective, my key takeaways are, a lot of work needs to be done still in the digital arena. We can certainly help locally digitalizing the nation, but exporting a lot of initiatives out of Pakistan into other countries. Second is, let's keep playing a role in terms of being a Pakistani professional outside, and inshallah we'll see our country prosper.
Thank you so much, Ubaid Sab. This brings this thought to everybody who is outside of Pakistan, that we are all mentors and we are all guiding the youth back there, so they know what challenges they have to face and which part of the world they are competing with. Because unfortunately, the exposure is not much in Pakistan. And I think that is where faces like Ubaid Rahman and many others come in the picture to help them grow, to help them advance in their careers. Thank you so much, Ubaid bhai.
Thank you, Asa, and thanks to the whole organization for putting such a great show together. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It's very important to give back to the community. That is what Ubaid Rahman just told us. And that brings us to our second panelist, Mr. Kashif Ansari, a businessman, a CEO, a very energetic person, and someone who really believes in giving back to the community. Kashif bhai, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. The voice is clear? All good? Great.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then first, I like to thank the team who work really. It's really amazing. Like I have attended so many events of Pakistani Professional Forum. The way this is handled, hats off to Humayun, Imran, and the team who really did an awesome job. And also, I like to thank all the ambassadors. I totally understand today is the most busy day. Like you have to arrange, but taking time out for us, we really appreciate it. And it really means a lot to me, to us, everyone, all the Pakistanis. And we really like to thank you. Whether sometime nobody came and tell you, all the ambassador, all the people who work for the embassies, you are the hope. Whether, like maybe nobody come, they always come and shout and scream and, like complain. But today I like to tell you, sir, we love you. You're the hope. If something happens, being a Pakistani, we know that you are there and you'll be there for us. So thank you very much for there for all of us, all the expat Pakistani. So thank you, Azza. So little bit about myself. Technology is something which is core, and that's what we realized. I started as a professional, normal, like when you studied in Pakistan and seeing Salman Ahmad, it makes me so excited, like Jazba Junoon. These are the things which motivates, like, okay, right, Dil Pakistan, everything. Oh my God, I love it. What Salman Ahmad, I was seeing him, learning, and this is the journey how we, and still remember the Junoon song, which was like Khudi ko kar buland itna and Shaheen hai. Oh my God. So these are the aspiration. So for us, like I started my career, and then I from Dubai after graduating from Pakistan, and then I moved to Dubai, work for the big investment house, and I was part of the professional forum. And like what the ambassador of Indonesia mentioned, definitely quite professionally managed, and I was part of a team. We really we work very closely for the education of Pakistan. I was a part of a founding member team for UAE, for Citizen Foundation, so worked a lot with all the members. So that's how I started professionally, taking care of Pakistan or whatever we can do on the help the people in Pakistan. And then, like I got a chance to move to US. I was working over there. At the time I was working, like then again, the youth and the people who are watching us, we have to understand, we are Pakistanis, right? Like we have to see our leader. Who's our leader? Qaid Azam, right? 1938, they come up with the vision, impossible, and they did it. That's what we are. So nothing is impossible. That's what we are. So, like by seeing it and how we are, and we are the most intelligent and more, bahadur log hain, and we are a risk taker, because the challenges we face during the time, definitely which keeps on motivating us. So after a while, I'll just jump. I don't want to take most of your time, so I'm just trying to tell you my journey. So get more inspired. And in 2011, this is the time where I decided, like enough of the corporate job. I have worked so long. I have learned so much. If I can do something as an employee, why don't I do it for myself? And that is the time, with my friends, we started a company. And the main purpose was to do something, because the future is in moving into technology and going digital. So what we choose is the real estate sector. And we said, why not? So started from Dubai, and then it's an interesting story. Nobody, like most of the Pakistan, they always go west from Dubai to UK and the US and the Canada. So it's just, I landed in Malaysia. And I landed in Malaysia, and it was not to set up a company, and I was in a different project, which I landed in Malaysia. But imagine I was here for 1 week, and today, as I speak, this is my 10th year. And I found this is where the opportunity is, and this is the place where definitely we can do all wonders. And the journey started, real estate sector, with the help of the friends, we created a digital real estate. As Ubaid rightly said, that the future is technology. So we're able to create wonders with technology. We smooth up the business. And today, alhamdulillah, as we speak, more than 20,000 professionals, they work under our platform, and we are more than 20 countries and still growing. As we speak today, $1 billion sales, and it's still growing. So the reason why I'm saying all this is, like, we have a huge talent. We have a lots of opportunity. All we have to do is just to come out of your comfort zone. Just come out of your comfort zone and give a try. Like sometimes we have this fear that something, no, I can't do it. Like maybe I am from that place. I'm not this. That's why it's not possible for me. Trust me, whoever listening to me, the youth, professional guys, you are the champion. You're the best. Just move on, just try. This is the time to go in. And on the Pakistan front, the madam, our High Commissioner from Singapore, so much opportunity. And I really like to acknowledge that we are moving into Pakistan, and very soon you'll see that we are launching something in Pakistan in the tech industry. and we are working with some of the software engineer, best people available. So a lot of support right now, and I've seen a lot of young talent who are coming out and giving like the technology, the internet, and then the youth, like so much opportunity when it comes to Pakistan, that it's amazing. So opportunity is there, so much excitement is there. All we have to do on the professional side, I think we are ready. All just come out from the comfort zone and try to come together and help each other. Lastly, what I like to say is, like, guys, like when you get the medal, you only get the medal when you do something for the country. Always remember that. We don't have to ask what country have done for us. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, country has given so much to us. Now it's time to get the medal. You get the medal when you do something for the country. And remove the negativity. Like, don't worry, like, this is not there, this is not there. Just go out and do. Like how Kareem has made so much money in Pakistan. There are so much opportunities are there. So I request all the professionals, come together. And like, even as an individual, don't feel that like you can't do it. Get out of your comfort zone and try to achieve your dream. And this is the destination. I'm telling you, Pakistan in next 10 years for technology will create wonders. Thank you, Azza. Anything?
No, thank you so much, Kashifbhai. There are a few pointers that you've raised, and I think they are very important for people to register. Number one, you are an entrepreneur. So always remember, everybody is an entrepreneur. Goals are big. When the ideas are big people, big teams, big brains join you. So there are brains like Kashif Ansari, there are brains like Ubaid Rahman, and so many out there who can support you with your small idea and a big dream to make it come true. Thank you so much, Kashif, for your time.
Thank you. Pakistan.
This takes us to the next panelist. Now that we have been speaking about innovation, we are talking about technology, digitization. There's another industry which is very important for Pakistan, and it's a strongly emerging industry, and that is tourism industry. So we have with us a very charismatic female who's the CEO of Walnut Travel and Tourism Company of Pakistan. I would like to give her the floor so she can share her dreams and her vision towards growth of tourism industry in Pakistan. Sadaf Khalid, over to you. Sadaf, I think there's something wrong with Sadaf's connection. So we can wait for a minute and let her come back. In the meantime, I think for our audience, I think there are some great messages that we are all mentors. We have more exposure. We have dealt with a bigger world out there. We have experiences. We have knowledge. We have awareness. And unfortunately, the youth back home needs us. We just have to guide. Do not have to look for what we are getting in return. This country has given us an identity that we have to own and not be ashamed of. And I think that's the bigger message out there. So I hope everybody who is out there is getting this message. So till Sadaf joins us, I would like to see if we can have Wajahat on board, and Wajahat can join us from the panel.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and sabko Jashn Azadi bahut mubarak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, Wajahat Sab, I did not give you a proper introduction. But now that you're here, I would like you to give it to yourself, because you have done massive work in the last few decades. And I mean, it's inspiring for our youth to see how to start as a youngster and go and build up and try different ventures. So I think you need to share your story.
Okay, so my name is Wajahat. I'm the founder and the director of Wajahat and Partners in Berhad and WNP Lumbers in Berhad. We started off when I just finished my bachelor's in Malaysia. I did not have plans to establish my business in Malaysia. I came to Malaysia as a student to complete my bachelor's and my MBA from here. So when I started off here in 2000, when I graduated actually in 2011, I really loved the place, and I decided that it is a good place to stay back. And that's when I started processing of registering a company here. So I was looking at the market. I was doing a lot of market survey. And of course, my first point of contact while I was in Malaysia was Pakistan. And I discovered a few products that I can actually work with in Malaysia. And I happened to explore palm oil industry and the rubber industry, and came across the timber industry. And timber industry I find it really fascinating. I went back to Pakistan. I did a lot of market research there. I came back to Malaysia, and I started digging this market from the scratch. I went to, I think, every possible jungle in Malaysia, which was very exciting for me. And I found out that there's a lot of potential, and I found that there's a lot of gap of market information that Pakistan has about the Malaysian timber, even though Pakistan is a buyer of Malaysian timber for quite many years. So I tapped that market, and I started representing a Malaysian company. In 2011, we were able to ship our first cargo to Pakistan. It's acceptable. From that point onwards, I realized that I have to dig deeper in this market. And from there onward, we worked really hard. That now, alhamdulillah, today, when we started off, we were exporting one kind of tropical sawn timber to just Pakistan, and now we are working as semi-manufacturers ourselves, exporting to 16 destinations globally, and 28 kinds of Malaysian timber, and it's a very, it's an exciting business. We did try to add some digitalization to this business as well, because from Malaysia and from Pakistan, this business is mostly, done in a very typical way. So we've just stepped into developing some softwares also for the timber industry. Malaysian Timber Board has welcomed it as well. 2017, we formed another entity by the name of WNP Lumber, Sindh Berhad. It was also for the timber-based products. The main name of the company was Related Products of Timber, because we were doing sawn timber under my first company. So we are inshallah venturing into the US market. It was supposed to be start of 2021, but due to the pandemic and the situation right now, I think we're going to be doing it inshallah in 2022 onwards. Beside that, we ventured into different businesses as well, like bringing the halal meat from Pakistan. This was the most challenging thing that we did in Malaysia, was to bring in the frozen Pakistani meat, got it accepted in the Malaysian market, and we are doing this venture. We are doing it with 4G Meat Limited. 4G Meat Limited is the state-of-the-art meat plant built at a total cost of $75 million. So alhamdulillah, as challenging as it was, Allah has been very kind to get it accepted here in the market. We had some glitches on the way, but then we get a lot of help from the Pakistan High Commission. Mr. Shafkat helped for the business part of it, and now we are again on the track to establish more into this sector. The last thing that we have just diversified into as well is the vision of Industry 4.0. We have just collaborated in 2019, actually, we collaborated with a Singaporean Pakistani scientist. And because this palm oil industry in Malaysia is actually suffering from the unripe fruit. So this scientist was working on a machinery, and he needed some support system to bring it to the market and to get it, to get the recognition. So we had a collaboration with them for exclusive sales and marketing of his machine. And alhamdulillah, because this is a huge project. Currently, Malaysia has lost about $2 billion of fruit, unripe fruit. So we have just collaborated with them to bring that machine to the market. Alhamdulillah, we have got a first preliminary approval, which is we are at a demonstration stage. We'll be bringing but we have gotten it from a stock listed exchange company. A public listed company has come on board on this with us. And I think by next month we'll have a first demonstration, and they're willing to do it. So I just believe that, we are into diversified businesses. We have tested the waters, and I think it takes a lot of courage, but with the right help, with the right determination, with the right passion, anybody is able to achieve that. So I wish good luck to all of them. I'm inspired by the stories of Kashif Bhai and Ahmed Bhai. I mean, they're very inspiring, very experienced people. So thank you very much for the opportunity, Aza. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Vajah Sahab. The good thing is that you have shared some opportunities in a very subtle way, that Pakistan, you're creating opportunities for resources, human resources in Pakistan. And I think there's a bigger message that people need to get from your presentation here, or what you shared with us, your story. And I feel where there's a will, there's a way. I hope people who are watching can understand that the biggest resource we have in Pakistan is human resource. And with people like you who are creating opportunities, I think it is where we see the gold mine in Pakistan, I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aza.
Now we would like to have Sadaf Kashif back. Her connection is okay. So she can share her story about tourism, how she's working, and what is the scope. Sadaf? Unfortunately, we are unable to hear you still. All right. In the meantime, we're still working on a connection. So I would like to introduce a CFO club that was created by the professionals in this region, Dr. Rizwan Khan and Mr. Shehzad Hadi. Let's introduce them and bring them on board. They can share their vision and tell you a little bit more about the club and what are the opportunities for youngsters over there. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Aza. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Basically, CFO Club was formed back in 2018 when I was visiting Pakistan. So I noticed that there is no professional club that is available, no professional association that is available that is focusing on the young accountants. Unfortunately, when we look at the accountants, the first thing that comes to our mind that these are very boring people who are sitting in the office and just doing the work. But that is not the case. I know a lot of accountants, chartered accountants who have been at very interesting positions. Like one of my senior in Ferguson, he is the author of the bestseller, a New York bestseller book, and he's the coach as well. So then we decided that we should establish an association that will do the mentoring and provide other supports to accountants. But then it grown up to an association where we have the professionals from every part of the organization, whether they are CEO or CTO. So basically accounting and IT and business managers all are there. And we have 3,000 plus members in our association. And we are incorporated in Pakistan and United Kingdom. So that's just a brief about what I am doing, what we are doing. So Shehzad and I, we conceived this idea. We started that one. And in last year after COVID, I think that was actually a trigger point for us to reach out to people around the world much easier than it used to be in 2019. So I believe that we had more than 25 webinars on different topics, ranging from supply chain, data analytics, and other areas. So we are not basically an association that is focusing only on CFOs or finance professionals. Rather, we are focusing on the whole holistic approach where we are looking at the Pakistani youth to grow them professionally in a time where the IT is the most important thing. As everybody mentioned, including Her Excellencies and the other panelists as well, speakers as well. So I think that is really challenging part for us as a professional, that we need to let other youngsters learn what we have experienced and try to allow them not to make the same mistakes that we have done. So that's just a brief about me. I believe Shahzad is with me. I'm not really sure. Azhar, can you please check if Shahzad is here?
Backstage.
I think
Okay.
Shahzad
Yeah, I'm
is
here.
there.
Okay.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Ji,
Walaikum
thank you very
assalam. Good
much.
to have you on board.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, सबको आज़ादी मुबारक हो. I would also use Urdu. But mostly
शुक्रिया.
हम इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे हैं. तो सबको आज़ादी के 74 साल बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो. CFO क्लब का जैसे रिजवान ने इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया. So actually ये आइडिया आया था हमें कि there was a serious disconnection between industry, academia and regulator. या हम तीनों अपनी अपनी दुनिया में मगन हैं. जो एकेडमिक्स में हम पढ़ाते हैं, जब हम फील्ड में आते हैं तो हमें पता चलता है कि बहुत सारी चीजें आउटडेटेड हो चुकी हैं, इंडस्ट्री कहीं और पहुंच चुकी है. और इंडस्ट्री में भी हमारा ये जो सीरियस जो लैक है पाकिस्तान में, वो है हम रिसर्च बेस्ड ओरिएंटेड काम नहीं करते. सो दुनिया जो है वो नॉलेज इकोनॉमी पे चली गई है. अभी भी हम जो है वो अभी just is an start के we can go into knowledge economy. There is so many work going on into blockchain in Pakistan, innovation, but हमने उसको शायद rightly market नहीं किया. But वो market ना करने के बावजूद अगर आप outsourcing में देखें तो पाकिस्तान is number 4 in the world. So that is a tremendous achievement. और सबसे बड़ी खास बात पाकिस्तान के हवाले से ये है कि हमारी 70% जो है वो यूथ है हमारे पास. So अगर हम सिंगापुर की बात करें, I have been in Singapore for around 5 years. So प्रॉब्लम क्या है सिंगापुर का, ऐसे डेवलप कंट्रीज का, वहाँ पे एजिंग पॉपुलेशन है. पाकिस्तान ब्लेस्ड है कि हमारी पॉपुलेशन जो है वो मोस्टली यंग है. I would like to take Rizwan on the stage as well. We have a chit chat session on career counseling. So Rizwan, can we discuss? मेरा पहला आपसे ये सवाल है कि हाउ डू यू सी करियर काउंसलिंग एंड जो हमारा एक CFO क्लब के हवाले से एक जो मिशन है मेंटोरशिप का. सो व्हाट्स योर मेन क्या कहते हैं इस पे पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है आपका? और इसको हम उर्दू और इंग्लिश दोनों में करते हैं क्योंकि हमारी बहुत सारी ऑडियंस जो है वो पाकिस्तान से भी है.
Sure, definitely. We could do it in both, not an issue. I think career counseling is an area where we have serious lack in Pakistan, or at least used to be at that time. So at CFO Club, we foster an environment where we are going for mentoring. अब हमारे यहाँ होता ये है कि मेंटरिंग को हम लोग उसको समझते ही नहीं है कि उसमें क्या करना है और किस तरह करना है. When I started my career with ICAP back in 95, so at that time I did not know why I'm doing it. I did not know what I'm going to do after that, and I was not even sure whether I could do that or not. So all these things are there. So at that time I started working on different areas. I started doing with AAT. I started doing with Institute of Corporate Secretaries of Pakistan, the elite corporate law qualification as well. And then I also started with ICMAP as well, Institute of Cost and Management Accountant of Pakistan. But that basically put a lot of burden on me in terms of what I was doing. I think at that time I was studying roughly about 16 hours every day. And you know that, I mean, passing the chartered accountancy exam in the first go is something that you really have to work on that. But I think what needs to be done at all these professional bodies, that there has to be some kind of career counseling that people, they need to assess whether you actually need that qualification or why you are doing it. So the most important thing is that why you're doing something. So when we answer the question, we say, okay, this is what we are doing. But I believe that a majority of us do not know why we are doing it. So in order to find that why for everything, so we started this mentoring program at CFO Club. Apart from that, I am also a registered mentor with RMIT University in Australia. It's one of the top state university in Australia. And also with PRMIA, which is the Risk Management Institute Association. So I'm also a mentor with them, and I have mentors in different parts of the world. So that's just a bit of background about mentoring. Just last one comment, that generally the mentoring or the mentee is considered as someone, it has the same stigma we have in Pakistan, when we are going to psychiatrist or psychologist, that we think that we go there because we have some mental, only when you have some serious mental problem, then you go there. This is not the case. You should go there at an early stage to avoid any serious problem in the future.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. अच्छा, इट रिमाइंड्स मी, क्योंकि आपने वाई फैक्टर का जिक्र किया, स्टार्ट विद वाई, एंड दैट रिमाइंड्स मी अबाउट साइमन साइनिक. और साइमन साइनिक का एक कोट है कि मेंटोरशिप इज जस्ट लाइक फ्रेंडशिप, एंड इट्स अ मेंटोर रिलेशनशिप, नॉट अ मेंटोर-मेंटी रिलेशनशिप. सो एक्चुअली दोनों जो है वो एक लॉन्ग टर्म रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड करते हैं. सो इफ यू गो टू वन सेशन, आई बिलीव के दैट डज नॉट वर्क सो मच इन वंस करियर. वो एक सेशन में आपको बेसिक एडवाइस तो मिल जाएगी, लेकिन जो आपका ग्रोथ होती है वो आपका लॉन्ग टर्म में लेके वो आपका कोई भी नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि इफ यू कीप ऑन फाइंडिंग सेपरेट मेंटोर्स, सो इट्स जस्ट like going to different doctors for some of your illnesses. So I believe that does not work. You should have a long term mentor, and it should be mentor relationship. अच्छा, मेरा आपसे करियर काउंसलिंग के हवाले से है कि क्या एक जो क्वालिफिकेशन होती है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हैं, या कुछ यहाँ पे हमें डॉक्टर्स भी सुन रहे हैं, इंजीनियर्स भी सुन रहे हैं, सो क्या क्वालिफिकेशन ही है या उसके बाद और वैल्यू ऐड करना पड़ता है, जैसे स्किल सेट है, बिजनेस नॉलेज है, नेटवर्किंग है, देन उसके बाद आप डेटा एनालिटिक्स पे जाते हैं, एंड देन लास्ट में आता है गिविंग बैक टू द सोसाइटी. योर व्यूज ऑन दैट?
What I believe is that मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, I also tell this to my son as well, that never let your degree come between you and the education. That is the most important thing. Unfortunately, we are trained in such a way that we have, okay, if you are chartered accountant, you are top of the world. If you are a doctor, you are top of the world. There is nothing like top of the world. I mean, if you look at this, I mean, there are things that are changing. So when we look back, I mean, when I started my career in chartered accountancy, at that time we used to study EDP, electronic data processing, and I was wondering why we are studying that. And for that, it was so easy that I used to do that back in 80s. That all these things that we are studying back in late 90s. So that's very ridiculous at that time. So I think what is going on right now in many professions, whether it's accountants or doctors or everyone, we focus on using Excel, Word, PowerPoint. That's it. In general, I'm talking about majority of people. But what we do not look into that we are going to a new age of computing where the data analytics is the key. So the data is the new oil, as everybody says. And this phrase is perhaps so overused that people are really sick and tired of that. Okay, what do you mean by new oil? It basically is something that if you have the data that you can convert into some information, then you are above everything else, and you can make the right decision based on that. As some other speakers, they have given the example of Daraz and Kareem and other. I think that's a brilliant example that you look at this. If you are using Kareem very often in Pakistan, for example, you could see that after some time, the Kareem can actually start telling you are picking up the ride from here and you are going at this place at this point in time. So basically, that is something that they are collecting the data from you. Look at Facebook. Facebook, I think it surpassed the revenue of Google recently in terms of ad revenue. And that is because they are collecting a lot of data. Most of us have the Facebook on our phone without knowing that we are giving away so many information to Facebook free of cost. And we are actually spending time there. So they are collecting the data and they are making the campaign in such a way that it targets the right people, and their ad revenue is more than any other digital platform. So that is an example that we should look into this. So how we can use that in accounting profession or business or any other thing. As Wajahat mentioned, I believe that he's talking about Industry 4.0. Back in 2018, I started giving some physical conferences or seminars or introduction to large groups in Pakistan for Industry 4.0, Industrial Revolution. So at that time, I noticed that we as a business people, we are in Pakistan, there is a huge gap and there is a big market for that we can utilize that. And even when we are talking about professionals, they do not have really good idea about this. When we talk about digital transformation, everybody thinks, okay, we need to have something. we just transform. So generally, for larger organization, it is very easy that they can get it done. They have the right people, they have variety of people. But for SMEs, this is a big challenge. And the thing is that in the next 5 to 10 years, if you are not ready for the future, you become irrelevant. And I can give an example that back in, I think, early 90s, there used to be, if you look at the job advertisement at that time, it says that, oh, you need to be 60 word per minute in typing or something like that, right? I have seen typewriter. I have never used that one, but I did see the typewriter. So that was the kind of thing that was there. And if you look at the advertisement right now, job ads, even for CFO, it says that you should be computer literate. And my question is, what do you mean by computer literate? So that the idea computer literate is you must be expert in Excel and other things. But Excel is so 2018. Now in 2021, we are talking about BI. If you look at Microsoft Power Apps, that is basically the future. And if anybody who is using that one, they can tell you that this is really amazing, where you are going one step ahead of Excel and you are doing wonders with all these applications, especially utilizing the data with artificial intelligence. You can do a lot of things and you can save a lot of time as well. So that is really important. One last thing. When we talk about a skill set, generally we say that, okay, we have a qualification and then we have the skill set and that is good for us. Yes, it was the case maybe when my father started working, but not anymore now. And why so? Because the things are changing at much faster pace. Everybody who's here, imagine, or just, I would like you to remember, what was your cell phone back in 2010? Remember that cell phone, recall that one, and then compare that cell phone with your existing cell phone, with your mobile phone right now you have. You look at in 10 years, technology has gone from Earth to probably Mars. And we have to go with that. And whether we are in finance, we are in business, we are in medicine, we are in engineering, that is the thing. So that is what we have to focus on.
Thank you very much. और that reminded me that in 2010 I had a BlackBerry and BlackBerry उस वक्त का शायद सबसे ज़्यादा एडवांस फोन था. BlackBerry Messenger पे हम चैट करते थे. And the world has so significantly changed from then. अच्छा, इसमें एक दो चीजें और ऐड करनी है. पहले तो मैं इसको समराइज करूं तो सो क्वालिफिकेशन एंड स्किल सेट आर नॉट इनफ. You have to keep learning and you have to build a network and you should avail the mentoring with some of the good mentors in your field. अच्छा, इसके साथ साथ ये बताइए कि पाकिस्तान में जो ट्रेड और इन्वेस्टमेंट की अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, एंड वी हैव डन सम वेबिनार्स आल्सो विद Malaysia Pakistan Business Council as well as Pak Thai Business House. So what's your take on the trade and investment opportunities in Pakistan, as well as how can we help the investors abroad, especially the overseas Pakistani community?
Sure. We have done, I believe, 3 webinars. So one with the Pakistan Embassy in Vietnam, Mr. Ali Raja, he joined us as well. And we have done with Thai consulate in Karachi and one with Melpak. I believe that there are a lot of Pakistani diaspora, they are living abroad and they want to invest in Pakistan. And if you look at the Roshan digital account, we have seen that tremendous growth in that. We did a webinar on that as well back in, I think, November last year. So I think that people are willing to invest in Pakistan. The only problem is they don't know where to invest, number one. Number two, they cannot find the right partner. So at CFO Club, we are basically, it is our duty basically to tell people that there are business organizations that are helping them, whether it is Chamber of Commerce or it's the Ministry of Commerce or other places. That's where they are actually waiting for people to come and invest in Pakistan. So that is one thing. And another thing is that there are a lot of things that are being produced in Pakistan and they are very, very cheap. Now, I mean, I'm going to a completely different track. Like now, come look at the plant-based product, for example, like mangoes and onions and corn or whatever, you name it. So all these things, there's a huge market for that, but unfortunately, we are not tapping that. ASEAN is a region with about 600 million people, and it is growing. Is probably the fastest growing region in the world right now, even during Corona. So here as a Pakistani, we are always looking at Europe, USA. We don't look at the eastern side. And also the upcoming one that after ASEAN that we should be looking at right now is the African region. That is resource rich, number one, and there the people have so much potential just like us. So I would like to tell the people who are in Pakistan, they should look at, especially in the service industry, they should look at African region as a Pakistan 30 years ago. And what was not in Pakistan, not in Pakistan 30 years ago, that is not in Africa right now. So we should, if we start early, you will have the benefit of early mover. So that is one thing. In terms of ASEAN, I think there's as Vajat mentioned, that timber, you have all these things. So it's a wonderful thing that is available there. So I think that's really important.
Thank you, Rizwan. And with that, I would like to conclude. So it is an amazing session. जो तमाम ambassadors ने, High Commission ने बात की शुरू में. And I congratulate the organizing team. Humayu, you have done an excellent work. And Azza, you are a very good moderator. We would like to have Azza in our CFO Club shows as well. And I look forward for other events like this. Thank you very much. Pakistan, Zindabad.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Very insightful, very deep, and very detailed. Exactly what we needed. Slightly longer, but I think that was required. Now I would like Humayun Beep, the brain and the visionary behind this initiative. Humayun Beep, please join me and please share a bit about your thoughts and how this whole thing came into being. And how do you feel? So let's give the floor to you. I can't hear you. You need to unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. So thank you, Azza. Let me start by thanking our foreign missions, diplomatic missions who have provided us great support and the leadership they are providing us in the region. That's much needed space. I mean, the way I see the Southeast Asia region, it's a blue ocean of opportunities which has not been tapped as much as the potential it offers. And the same thing we usually say about Pakistan, but the kind of opportunities or the synergies, both these regions, Pakistan with the South Asia and this Southeast Asia region, great synergistic opportunities are available. I mean, that's some of the things that I've learned and seen in this region. Fantastic learning. I've been in Malaysia for quite some time. Provided me great learning opportunities here. So let's tap this blue ocean. Let's tap the synergies that we can. And I think the foreign missions, diplomatic missions, they supported us. They provided us a lot of support and the time today, for example, from the excellencies. That's really very encouraging. Then we heard about the success stories, Kashabhai, Ubaidbhai. I mean, the things they have achieved, that's the kind of inspiration we need. And also the CFO Club, the kind of efforts they are institutionalizing, the networking opportunities amongst the professionals for targeting the C-suite where the decision-making happens. So preparing the human capital, Azza, like you mentioned in your earlier thoughts, that human capital, how can that be polished, nourished, and exposed to those opportunities, and we can work on some kind of win-win solutions and growth things. Last but not the least, I would like to touch upon. Unfortunately, Sadaf could not present, what she had prepared for. But I would like to kind of to justify the effort that she has made. I would like to maybe take a couple of minutes to comment on some of the things that we were discussing backstage when we were preparing for it, and unfortunately, technical issues didn't let her present her. So one of the very important things that Sadaf has come up with, and that was kind of the idea where she worked on the MOU that the company signed. She took that initiative with Malaysia Pakistan Business Council. So it was kind of opening a window of opportunities to the tourism while in pandemic everything is down. So what essentially she's doing is she's trying to create a bridge between this region and that region. And when the travel happens, people get to understand cultures, opportunities better. People to people contact always helps to improve relations and understandings. So that's one of the great initiative we must appreciate. Another thing I think she mentioned when we were preparing for this show was that there are multiple opportunities for the tourism that Pakistan offers. So starting from, like, let's say religious tourism, the Buddhist tourism, the Sikh tourism, for the other folks like kind of natural in northern areas of Pakistan, those mountain tourism that we have. So Malaysia has kind of excelled in a lot of those things. I mean, the millions of tourists that travel here in Malaysia, there are opportunities to invest, collaborate in Pakistan, and share those experiences for growth. And I guess, I mean, after pandemic, all of us will be looking for opportunities to travel. And when we visit home, when we go home, we would definitely like to take a break. I mean, go back to the nature. And Pakistan offers one of the most untapped natural opportunities for tourism point of view. I think so. That's the area that she's working on, building bridges with the ASEAN. I think great idea that she has brought up. So I just wanted to cover some of the aspects that she wanted to cover in her presentation, so that the people who are watching here, they are aware, and we project Pakistan and opportunities in the right way. So and then, I mean, I would like to thank all the panelists, the back-end team, who has supported us, Apudi, and rest of the team that they have supported us in making this happen. So I would really like to appreciate their support, Bante and all. And with that, I'll pass the floor back to you so that we can conclude at a high note. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Humayun Bhai, for this opportunity. We have a big and a bright future for Pakistan. We are all Pakistanis. We carry that identity. That identity is what makes us strong, makes us united, and brings us together. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's a bright future out there for us, all of us, who are here or who are back home. So let's keep our hopes high, and let's dream big, and let's join hands to make that dream come true. Pakistan Zindabad. Please don't go. We are playing a song for you. Goodbye.
ऐसी ज़मीन और आसमान, इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ, बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी।